You have to believe me because I'm up here, elevated, on a dais. Some popular approbation indicates a level of achievement unknown to all of you down there. I'm up here on a panel, esteemed. I am certainly an outstanding and interesting honored guest for you to marvel at. I wasn't chosen just because there were some empty seats to fill. Eminent. All of us up here, and I think I could speak for the group, are just that much more qualified than you hoi polloi proletariats. No matter what question you could ask, the only right answer comes from this rarefied atmosphere and not the smoggy valley that you groundlings inhabit. I'm on a stage and there's an amplified microphone. The lights aren't pointing at you. If I wasn't a recognized genius, then how did I get here for free? If you can't chew the aspirated vintage of my adjectives, then there must be more up here than down there. Certainly you'll celebrate the crystallized frequency of my brainwaves when with your staticky snaps and clapping. I have a book. It's not like anybody can just type their vanity into a printing machine that just spits out bound pages. It takes stamina and discipline. Effusive. Each page singed with ideas. There's a whole process with editors. There must be something here. I was on TV. Exalted. More than once. I have graced the late local news, and it only took a few shining seconds for my fame to kindle. And I was in a newspaper a couple times. I met celebrities, but I hate to name drop. So ask away, revel in my presence, applaud until your fingers blister, or at least sit quiet in rapt admiration. It is all the way it should be. The world reveals its right order, and I speak from Sinai. I am up here.
Fantastic.
Well, that was kind of a home run. That was very vintage Patrick Hare, I'm just going to say.
Boy, thank you. I was down in Tucson last year, and people were asking all kinds of questions. I'm like, you guys know more than I do, and you're in the audience. Why do you ask me?
Yeah. Unless it's about my thing. Like you said, that was mainly just kind of words clashed into a typewriter.
Yeah.
Supposedly there was an editor involved somewhere. It's ultimately just vanity. So unless we're up there for vanity's sake, then
there was like a story like Leonard Nimoy had said that, when they had the Space Shuttle Enterprise got rolled out, the Star Trek cast went to see it. And so the NASA engineers were showing him all these equations and asking him questions about them. It's like, I'm not Spock. I don't know anything about this stuff. Why do you think I know it? I'm on TV.
Yeah. I just play a rocket scientist on television.
I play a smart guy. Don't show me these equations. I'm an actor.
You think NASA would have seen through that thin veil?
Hey, well, they got people in. Star Trek got people interested in space. Space gets people interested in space budgets. That's how you build reusable spacecraft that, they probably could have just saved the money and kept running the Saturn V program forever because, reusable spacecrafts are very hard to build.
Did you see the new Prada spacesuits?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They released mock-ups for the Prada spacesuits. They're gorgeous. They're definitely worth taking a look at. They look very like F1, Tron, little Blade Runner in there. Not too much, though. Definitely leans a little bit more Tron to me visually.
I guess if you're getting a spacesuit, it might as well be made by Prada. The price is about the same.
Exactly. Well, and like you were saying, if it gets people interested in the space program, and it gets people looking in that direction, it gets people looking up to the stars, then it's good.
Yeah. You're going to have smart people build that stuff anyway. It might as well be to have communication satellites and, not the usual assorted rocketry.
Right. Yeah. Communication satellites that don't just break down and float in space like garbage.
Yeah, just wait for that. Those things are supposed to start falling out of the sky in a few years.
Oh, yeah, it's only a matter of time. I wonder how much of it will burn up on re-entry. I'd imagine most of the satellites would burn up on re-entry, right?
That's a good question. I mean, it's not being a space scientist myself, but it's just, I'm sure some of it will and some of it won't. Or you'll have little pieces.
But the real question is, what does that contribute to the atmosphere? because matter will change into another thing.
Nothing we're not already putting there already.
Fair.
Nothing new.
The meteorites burn up all the time. Well, you get a certain amount of space dust, I guess.
That's true. We probably get a lot of miscellaneous space debris. Huh. Anyway, back to the topic of poetry. I brought a poem with me.
Excellent.
This is actually a better segue than it seems. This poem is titleless for now. Brief as always. Arizona is alien, or so I'm told by travelers arriving by airship. Just above fields of saguaro forest with chunks of cholla for us. Should I tell the terrestrials? There's no rest for the wicked here in the desert, but trust your sweat to keep you cool and wick it back to the horizon we lust after, where Nirvana is in reach, with her mirage as witness. Dun, dun, dun.
I apologize for the phone interruption.
Oh no.
Was that like the actual Verizon sound that you have set?
Well, it's T-Mobile.
Oh, T-Mobile sound.
Yeah, the T-Mobile noise. Gotta love it. But yeah, I was taking a flight back. I forget where it was from, but there was a Orthodox Jewish family behind me. Not that it matters in any way, shape, or form for the story. It just helps paint the picture. And they were saying as they landed in Arizona that it looked like Mars. And I thought that perspective was interesting. Like, I guess if you had never been to Arizona, then landing and seeing, like, saguaro forests and just, like, endless desert would look really weird.
Yeah, well, if you don't even see the saguaros, you do have the Mars comparison there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're driving from, like, Arizona to Nevada and stuff like that, there's some places there's just nothing.
Yeah. And the little kids just seem so, like, mystified by it. And it was, like, I was kind of in that, I think I was coming home from Iceland, so I was in that post-travel kind of, like, wallowing, like, ugh, home, gross. But kind of landing and having that new perspective was like, oh yeah, home is kind of fun. It is kind of weird and freaky here. If I had lived somewhere else, then this would be as weird and freaky as Iceland was for me. So kind of like taking that appreciation for where I was at the time. I might expand the poem to actually include any of those sentiments, but then again, I might not. Might be a different poem entirely. I just kind of let things happen.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I mean, and having lived in different states, you know, when I go back to other places or when you go someplace where you don't have to water the trees to make them grow and there's just plants everywhere, I'm like, wow, this is incredible. And, you know, I'd forgotten about, you know, the fact that you can have the whole ground covered in plants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like, yeah, just like seasons. Or like my friend just recently moved out to Maryland and he really likes it out there, the weather and everything like that. But within 3 days, he was texting me saying, I miss sunsets. And he just sent a folder of Arizona sunsets, the pictures that he had taken throughout the years that he never even thought. He didn't take them thinking he would miss sunsets. They were just pictures of things where the sunset happened to be in the background that he had now collected into a folder because he missed our sunsets that much.
Wow. I mean, Maryland has those like cicadas and all sorts of bugs. I mean, it's loud with bugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's loud in general. Maryland's a very interesting area. The DMV. Gotta love it.
Okay, that was a weirdly specific reference.
What? The DMV?
DMV
I've known a lot of people from the DMV in my life.
and Maryland?
The DMV? Delaware, Maryland, Virginia?
Okay, not the-
For some reason, I thought you were talking about motor vehicle vermin.
No. I could see why that would be confusing. Yeah, that acronym makes no sense. Much like Patrick with the SEO, I should have probably elaborated on that in any way. I have a tendency to not do that. Oh, so what's next for Patrick? What's on the horizon?
What's on the horizon? More marching band competitions for my son's school. Actually, my parents are coming into town, and so they're going to see my older son at he's doing a competition at the University of Arizona, so we'll be down in Tucson Saturday.
Ooh. So much driving.
Yeah.
So many competitions.
Right, and I mean, there are some very interesting marching bands out there, but then there's other ones where it's like, this all sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, doing the same songs that you probably saw last year done by a different band. The trendiness of it all.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have a lot of big props and things like that.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is- although, yeah, there were 2 marching bands at one of the competitions I saw recently. They both did songs from Metallica.
Interesting.
Like, Well, okay, I guess that's one way to get the audience on your side anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if does the audience being engaged affect their score in any way?
I don't know. I'm not sure how the judging works on that, but you'd assume that if you get an engaged audience, they might, they could still, I think, influence the judges that, hey, people are liking this stuff. So
Maybe bump it up, even
Right.
if I'm not liking it. Maybe bump it up a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
it seems like everybody else is. Interesting. And look at those instruments back and forth.
Oh yes.
Oof. I was a percussionist.
Oh, my
So-
son's a percussionist. He's in the pit, so he does the marimba.
Yeah, the marimba was one of my favorite instruments. I love the marimba. To this day, whenever a marimba, a steel drum, or timpanis pop up in a song, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
so he has to haul that thing, and sometimes he's got to like restring that string while he's hauling it. So it's
Fantastic. I love the marimba. It's such a good instrument. Such a good instrument. Very transferable skill on the marimba, too, because you're basically hitting a piano with a stick. So if he wants to pick up piano down the road, he already knows where all the notes are.
that's good. To
And
know.
the composition of the scales and all that kind of... I medaled in academic decathlon when I was in high school. It's like basically like a music theory section. So like all of the scales from the marimba will transfer over. So if he's doing like dichromatic scales, like different chords and things like that, if you can conceptualize them on the marimba, you should be perfectly capable of conceptualizing on the piano.
Oh, wow. The more you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I was able to at least move over like some of my basic band stuff, like from 8th grade band. Like, I think we did a Star Wars. We did a version of Star Wars because Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones were big. I don't remember if Revenge of the Sith had come out yet. I think it had. But yeah, we did a big Star Wars section. It was a waste of time. I just wish we had learned an actual piece of music. It would have been nice. Not that Star Wars isn't music, but I feel like a lot of times when they do music scores, it's such a dumbed down version of the music score that removed from the rest of the band and the environment and someone saying, hey, this is that Star Wars piece. It's just like the most basic version of the melody. Pirates of the Caribbean is a really good example. Like kids like to do a really simplified version of Pirates of the Caribbean. That I found.
You're just going after all the Disney religions today.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that is another Disney religion, Pirates of the Caribbean. I think we can all agree that they're garbage after the first one anyway. So. The second one has its merits, but it's a straight downhill.
This podcast is definitely going behind the payroll.
Yeah! Why, just to satisfy the mouse,
I'm
Bob?
going to make some money on this.
Just to keep the mouse happy?
Teasing this, and I'm making money on this.
And this is all for the mouse? Putting that behind the paywall for the mouse's benefit? Not afraid of no mouse. I'll grapple a mouse. With a hook or with a book. All right, well, this has been the Brick Cave Media Podcast, brought to you by Marcus S. Campbell, author of My Identity as a Stereotypical Side Character by Brick Cave Books, joined by
Patrick Hare, author of Corporate Boilerplate Vinegar. And are we still out there on bcbookclub.com?
Yeah, we're still out there.
All right.
People need to pony up now to listen to this one.
Excellent. Controversial. Hard-hitting.
Topical.
Topical.
Well, thank you for being a member of the BC Book Club. Good night, folks.